give me land, lots of land with the starry sky above. Don't fence me in. Another old cowboy standard. Hey, Buckaroos! Buckle down, Buckaroos, and welcome to another beautiful day in the man cave here at Wistful Vistas in suburban San Diego, California. And it is a beautiful day. It pains me. It's just so gorgeous outside. I want to go riding, but I'm here in the man cave for you. And of course, Mrs. Cooper, she's got some things for me to do. We're going to attend finally to at least semi-finishing that AGV K6 helmet right now. Going to install this new Pardo? What happens when this goes on? I mean, it's on video and I blow it. Anyhow, Cardo, the Cardo Freecom 4. We're going to install it in the AGV K6, and hopefully this helps some people out there. Just a quick install. We've done it before. I've read through briefly the instructions that they so kindly provided me on the install. So we're going to put it into this new helmet, and we'll see how it goes. I'll see if I can't do a step-by-step with you and see if it helps you out. Anyway, hang in there. We're going to have us some fun. Okay, we're on the workbench here here in the man cave. Sorry about that. And I have the pieces laid out that we're going to be using for this installation into the K6. First thing I wanted to do, though, was to compare the two Cardo units that I have. This is the Pack-Talk Bold. This is the Freecom 4. Now I'm going to try to sneak them up into the lens here so that you can see their relative bulk, one to the other. This one being the Freecom, being much thinner profile. So I'm going to say that if I had to do it again, I would probably have two of these, or one for two helmets anyway, of the Freecom, because my feeling is, and correct me, Cardo, if you see this, or anybody that's a real Cardo expert, my feeling is, unless you typically ride in a pack, you don't necessarily need the whole Pack-Talk with the antenna, etc., etc. But that's just a feeling. That's just based upon what I've read in the literature. But here's what we're going to install on the K6. So, next steps. What are the pieces that we have here? The first big decision we have to make when we do the installation, a really big decision, ladies and gentlemen, is are we going to use the stick-on mount, or are we going to use the mount with the little lever that goes up under the helmet? I'm going to go with the stick-on mount. It is nice to think about the slip-on and off one being a little more helmet-friendly, perhaps. I don't know. But you've got to really jam it in there, and I'm not entirely sure. I should have asked someone that that's so easy to do. So we're going to use the stick-on piece, and we have the speakers, which will be connected. We have the microphone for the close helmet, and we have these two speaker sticky pads that go in the speaker pockets. We'll have to check these out because there's not a lot of room in a helmet, and the last helmet I put a Cardo unit in, I actually ended up not using these because they stayed in well enough without the Velcro attachments. All right, our first task, here's two more of those little gizmos. Our first task will be to take one of these alcohol preps when we go to the installation and put it on the side of the helmet. But first, we have to prepare the helmet. So let me grab the helmet over here, put this stuff aside, and we'll start. All right, putting the helmet in place. By the way, do you have a helmet donut yet? Why? And if not, why not? Get it. It's a very handy little thing. Okay, the first thing we do is remove the cheek pads. Now, cheek pads on the K6 are solid, one piece, but cheek pads, the Bell helmet uses a pretty innovative magnet set, but most of the other cheek pads in helmets are installed with plastic tabs, little plastic snap tabs. There's one that let go. Did you hear it? And we will, and sometimes the chin straps slide through a slot. Sometimes you have to thread them through an opening provided. In this case, we're going to have to, can you see me? I just don't know. We're gonna thread them through an opening in the slot. So we carry on around, undoing this thing. There goes another one. And we will be taking this out like this. We're lifting up on this. You can hear the snaps release. This is coming out fairly easily, which of course always gives you that false sense of security. Here's another snap. There it goes. And continuing to pull. Wait for another snap. There it goes. And another snap. There it goes. And there should be a third here. Maybe not. So you always work a little blind in these helmet situations. And we pull on this like that. And continue to pull it around. Sometimes you have to use a little bit of force. It always makes me nervous working on a new helmet, taking the lining out, but hey, you know, that's how it goes. So here's the K6. Here's how the K6 goes in, inverted, and it's a big ring. It's one of the reasons that it makes it as quiet as it is. And here's the backside of one of the snaps that keeps it in place. Let's look inside the helmet. I'll show you inside the helmet. And yeah, I think you can see that one there. And this one here pretty plainly. Those are the corresponding male snaps on the inside that go in. So that opens up the helmet for us to start putting in the speakers. We will grab them like this, and I will drop everything. So I'm going to put in the speakers. And very nicely, what K6 has provided is nice, roomy speaker pockets, so you know they're in the modern age. And there's even a little wire channel that they give you here that you can get speaker wires into. So that's pretty neat. I haven't seen that before, that they give you a little wire channel to put those through. So I'm going to take a look at, and by the way, righty-tighty, lefty, you always put the your control unit on the left side of the helmet, which when you put the helmet upside down is going to be on your right side. Yeah, go figure that out. But you always put the control unit on the left side, and that's because your right hand is throttle, front brake. Left hand, you have a little more freedom to touch the various buttons on the control unit. So that means when you're installing the speakers, there are two different lengths of wires on the speakers. The long unit goes on your right side. The short unit goes on your left side, which while you're putting together is on your right side. Got that? Anyway, left side is where it goes. So next step, I'm going to go ahead and prep this side and put the, no, I'm not. I'm not going to do that. Boy, in the interest of science and being fair, I'm going to wait and see how this little guy that has to plug into that turns out before I do actually put that on. So I'm going to install the speakers in the pockets first. Now on the back of the speakers, there are Velcro attachments that will hook up with a corresponding little touchy-feely gizmo there. Okay, so I just want to mention one of the nice things that AGV does is they give you a little channel for the speaker wires. I'm not sure black on black, it's just not going to work out. But there's a little channel right here out of the ear pocket for the speaker wires to go into, which is pretty slick. Motorcycle helmet manufacturers for quite some time have been providing speaker pockets, but that little wire channel there is a pretty nifty new thing. So I'm going to wait to install the side unit on until I get the speakers put in, because I'm not too sure where this will end out. This is what I have to connect to the base unit, and I'll wait and see where that ends up before I put that in. But I'll show you. I'm going to take the attachment off the back of one of the Velcro tabs, and I'm going to try and center that little devil into the speaker pocket and place it in. So I'm going to do that on the other side. When we run the speaker from one side to the other, I'll need to lift the inner lining and or thread it under the inner lining. I don't think I need to lift it out to get this wire all the way through the roof or the top of the helmet. So bear with me while I put those two Velcro pads in there. We'll be right back to you. Okay, first things first. First thing first. Sometimes I'm just so excited to get going. We're going to install the left side, rider facing forward. We're going to install the left side speaker first, because I want to see where that little connector comes out to locate the outside unit. And the challenge here is to put this in so that I can really take advantage of those speaker wire pockets that and I have to press a little bit to get it in there, of those speaker wire pockets that's AGV so kindly provided. So I've got to press in there a little bit. I think this is not, now this isn't mentioned, I wish this would come out here, but it's in the little wire pocket routing there. I think this is not in the instructions, but I'm going to get a little black piece of electrical tape and put it right over there so that speaker wire doesn't wander out. You don't need to see that. I'm going to do that offline, and we'll be back to you in just a moment. Okay, left side is in, and I've got a piece of electrical tape to keep it nice and captured in there. It's caught on the Velcro. Now I'm going to put the right side through the top of the helmet liner, and you're advised to take the helmet liner out, or they say please take the helmet liner out, but you actually in this case don't need to, because you can reach underneath it. Let me keep it in view here, and just pull it through, then put it back down. My college professor used to say, and put it back down as it were. What the heck does that mean? They would also say something like, and as is obvious to the most casual observer. Well, a little issue here, and that is the speaker pocket channel they've cut here doesn't really apply to this side, because that would mean that we were routing it around all the way the outside of the helmet. We're not going to do that. So, but I am going to get the first little bit of it in there, and then we're going to press that speaker in on that side. So I feel pretty good about it so far. We've got it put in, and we haven't needed to take that liner out. So once again, I'm going to take a little piece of black tape and just capture this wire so it doesn't wander around too much. But phase one speakers are done. You don't need to see me put electrical tape on nothing, so stand by. We'll be right back to you. And a recap. Speakers are installed. Impossible for me to see. I wonder how well you'll do with that. Speakers are installed with a little black electrical tape to keep them captured in position. Here it is on this side, and a little black electrical tape to keep it in position. And here is our connector hanging out there. Now, what I'm going to do as phase two is reinstall the chin pads, because I want to see where this pinches down. As you pinch this down, you run out of a little bit of room. I'm going to see how well that goes together. So I'm going to do a little exploration and we'll catch up to you. I promise you'll see everything. There are no secrets here in the man cave. I'll be right back. Okay, a little something to note here. I remember this last time I installed a Cardo unit, is that the clip-on bit, it actually contains the connector that you're going to need for the Cardo base unit, even if you're using the glue-on part as we are. And there are two little tabs on either side of this clip-on. You depress those and that allows you to separate the two pieces. And what you're going to do then, ladies and gentlemen, is install this bit onto this bit. And can I do this while the whole world is watching, and am I going to do it right? Good question. Does it go like that there? Let's see. Or does it go the other way? Okay, I'm gonna have to figure that out off camera and get right back to you. But anyway, you do need to pull this off of the little clip bit, and to pull that off you have to depress these two little connectors there. All right, phone's ringing, I gotta answer it. Be right back to you. So let's revisit the outside piece here, which considering again we're facing right side forward here, is going to attach like this. The piece that you reuse from the main unit, I found it useful to go ahead and attach the Cardo unit to the exterior here to get a sense for how it all goes together. But this piece slides up and down in a slot, and you push it down until you make a firm connection there, and now you've got it on. And here's the charging port on the bottom. Now I'm going to find the best place to mount this, and obviously what we have to connect now is the speakers, using the TRS from across the helmet without having too much wiring show, and B, our microphone, which will be installed at the front of the helmet. So I'm going to look for the right place to install that, and it's not so much a matter of convenience, it's where the curve of the helmet fits the curve of the mounting piece from Cardo. So I say a lot, don't I? But I'm thinking while I'm talking, and it's hard enough for me to think anyway. So yeah, you got to match the curve of the helmet with the curve of the Cardo piece. I'm going to find out where that is, use the alcohol prep pad, wipe it down, and then we will be back to you as I actually attach it, or shortly thereafter. Be patient. So to attach this to the helmet, I've removed the Cardo base unit from the attachment plate. A little easier to manipulate the attachment plate and see it. And the attachment plate has some channels on either side that give it a bit of articulation, finding the right place to install it. Let's hang these wires over the outside here. I like to get it as close to the base of the helmet as I can. And for right now, that doesn't look too bad. You don't want it too far back behind so you're reaching behind your head. You kind of want it so you're almost reaching up a little bit, up and certainly up and a little bit forward. So I kind of like this spot here. So I have very carefully concealed a marking pin, and I'm going to put a mark right there. And very kindly, one of the things, Cardo, this is so cool. I just noticed another really cool thing is they've given you a little tab to pull on to remove that adhesive pad. Have you ever spent hours trying to get that adhesive pad to let go? Yes, raise your hand if you have. almost think you should put a C-clamp on it or something to hold it in place for a while. They say let it stick for 24 hours before you put any load on it or anything. And it should, their words, it should hold in place. We're going to run and place that front microphone. Once again, we remove the little attachment on the backside. And here's why that tab was so handy that Cardo did on their own adhesive pad. Really, really neat. What a great little feature that was. And we want to be more or less mouth height. So I've got that installed in the front there. Good luck with seeing it. It's in the front. Now we're going to make the attachment to the other side, to the base unit side, and it's configured so you can line it up correctly, which we shall do. There we go. They are lined up and attached. Now my challenge will be I am going to use a little more black electrical tape. Sense a common theme here, folks, and try to wire this in so I can keep as much of it hidden and out of the way from floating once again. Don't forget, so it's going to go kind of like that. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, that we'll have another speaker up there, and that'll be my GoPro speaker that we get in. So I'm going to put a little black electrical tape to keep that up and out of the way, and be right back. All right, putting the cheek pad back in, and you're doing a lot of blind work here. So my advice is to start on one end and work your way around. Just a boring, kind of a tedious job, but just make sure you don't whack anything too hard. And of course, remember you have to thread the chin straps back through in the way that the AGV is assembled, and then we will be able to do the final attachment on the pieces inside. So no sense for you to see this. Takes a while, little trial and error. You may have to pull it all out and start all over again. And once I'll show you the snap when I put the last of the cheek pad back in. How's that? Is that a deal? All right. Okay, as mentioned, coming back to you, putting the last little snap in, and I said that I would give you the self-satisfying sound of that snap. And there we go. No denying it, ladies and gentlemen, it's a little bit of a, not a little bit, it's actually quite the fiddly job. And a lot of the hassle I just really can't show you, but it's installed now. The hassle being that you have to have these wires here on the side tuck up under the skirt so that the neck roll can go around it. I've thought about quite actually trimming those, but I'm just not too sure how advisable that is. There are a couple of tabs at the front and the sides that you need to connect the skirt in as you put it in. But once it's in, it's in. It's not coming out. And we have the speakers in. Now I'm going to just try the helmet on and see if I feel any impingement on my ears or cheeks as I put the helmet on. So let's do a standby, and I'll be right back. Hey, just lost battery power. Time to remove one hat. I've already taken off the cowboy hat. Darn, pains me to do it. We're going to do a test fit with the K6 here, with everything on the inside of it, our little blob on the side there, and see if anything is really irritating. Hello. I'm going to have to open the helmet up Okay, gotta say, I don't feel anything pressing on my ears too much. Sorry. I don't feel anything pressing on my ears at all, and not feeling anything pressing on my temples from those other wires. And you have to be really careful about this stage, because something that starts out as a minor irritant, when you say, oh, that'll be all right, I'll be okay with it, 2 hours on the bike, you're hating life. So you really have to be sure about this. This is a brand new helmet, so some of those pads and things will relax a bit. But nope. No issues there. Very comfortable helmet overall. Wait a minute. I did use a volumizing shampoo today. I don't know what happens to your hair when you get older, but it does seem to go away. Where does it go? Nobody knows. But okay, we got the helmet set up with the system. The next thing to do is we have to do the firmware update, and then I'm going to just check it functionally. But last functional thing, speaking of functionality, let's take you back down so you can see the helmet again, is I'm going to install the chin curtain. Now these make a heck of a difference as far as noise and the like are concerned. Chin curtain meets up and goes under here. So going to do that. It also makes getting the helmet on and off a little more challenging. But so I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to update the firmware and do a functional call. Maybe Mrs. Cooper will call me. I don't know what she'll call me. No, just call me on the telephone. But installed and ready to go riding with the Cardo Freecom. I'll give you an end of log comments on this by saying that once again, bit of a fiddly job. You can't be over forceful when you're putting it in. You got to be a little careful. Think ahead a little bit of where you place those wires, those connecting wires and things like that, and then anchor them down so they don't interfere with where ultimately you're going to be installing your pad over the top. So I'm just going to also reiterate what I said when I did the test fit of the helmet. Be very, very critical of even the slightest little contact you have from a wire or something, because you might think at first, hey, no biggie, that doesn't mean anything. 2 hours on the bike, it's terrible. So that's it. Install complete. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope it helps a little bit. Leave comments down below and tell me something that I've missed, if I've missed anything, and or questions that you may have. But liking the Freecom so far. I have not tested it functionally. We'll do that later. Bye for now. Hope you're having a great day.